So much, everyone, for coming. We have, again, another packed house, which is good to know that there is a ton of interest in the retail industry here at Salesforce. My name is Lisa Kant, and I manage our retail and consumer products industries here at Salesforce. I'm part of a new division we have at Salesforce called the Industries Business Unit. It's a division of Salesforce that's focused on creating solutions for our industry verticals. Mine, of course, being retail and consumer products. So you're all here today for retail clienteling, personalizing your store experience. And I don't want to take up most of your time because we have an amazing set of panelists who are going to be talking today about their vision for the industry, as well as how their companies are using Salesforce to help achieve that vision. Before I turn it over to our first speaker, safe harbor statement, it's day 2 of Dreamforce. You've probably seen this a number of times already. A little bit about who I am and my colleague who's joining me, Maureen McCarthy, who's going to help lead the session. And then just want to remind you guys, if you haven't already, please take some time out of your day to go to Moscone West to check out our customer company experience. You will get the opportunity to step inside a retailer who's running their entire business on Salesforce, and that is Trunk Club. So it's really an amazing opportunity. And then finally, it wouldn't be Salesforce without a party. Please come to our Retail and Consumer Products Networking Reception, co-hosted by Capgemini, which is going to be this afternoon from 5 to 7 p.m.
Where is the location?
It is in the Westin Hotel, just down the stairs. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our first speaker, who will introduce himself and talk through the vision for the retail industry. Oh, you have your own mic, actually, so I'll hand this over to you.
Sure. Thank you, Lisa.
You.
And actually, my name is without an E. Kees is the Dutch pronunciation. It's like the Käse aus Holland, a cheese from Holland, but it's K-E-E. Business case, suitcase, that's how you pronounce my name. So we've seen that this morning, behind every touch point, there is a customer. And every individual customer orchestrates their own journey across all these touch points, using all kinds of devices, whether they are at home, whether they are in the office, whether they are in the store, whether they are anywhere. And it's important for retailers to understand the context in which every individual consumer uses those touch points and the needs they have behind it. Why are they using and why are they orchestrating these touch points like that? And they need to be relevant at the moments that really matter, the moments of truth. And it is, of course, important to avoid frustration because of disconnects between those touch points. Disconnects because it's not consistent, or it's not working the way it should, and you cannot have a seamless flow from the one touch point to the other. And notably in the stores, that's an area where we see a lot of disconnects happening. Because the store experience in many cases is still very analog compared to the digital experiences that consumers have outside of the store. And that they are used to having an immediate answer to their questions and to have personal service and personal inspiration and recommendations. And in many cases, store interactions, I mean, there are good examples out there, but in many cases, store interactions are rather flat. They are a bit mechanical, transactional. And even if there is a sales conversion in a store, often it doesn't lead to a relationship building. What if you could do that? What if you could turn interactions in store to become more engaging, caring, as an experience, personal experience? What if you could drive more people to your store to have that experience? Well, that's what we call clienteling. So clienteling, the capability to manage personal customer engagement in a way that drives traffic to your store and that provides an exceptional in-store shopping experience and keeps your customers coming back for more. And it should provide value to your customer. You know me, respect me. So even if customers want to be treated anonymously, you should treat them anonymously. But you should serve them. You should inspire them. But if they want to be treated in a personalized manner, you should reward them for that. You should have a real good value exchange with them. As Capgemini, we are working with retailers all over the world, across different categories, different geographies. Leading fashion apparel retailer in North America, leading shoe retailer in the UK. I don't think it's a shoe retailer where Mark Benioff bought his shoes, though. A leading Swedish retailer, Dutch telco retailer, a French luxury retailer. All over the place, we see a lot of clienteling happening. And we have bundled that together with Salesforce into a clienteling framework and into a clienteling approach. And here you see a visual of one of the skins that we have, one of the clienteling skins, and it's only part of the framework. And you're happy to have a look at the demonstrations that we have on that at the Capgemini booth, or to talk with us at the cocktail reception later on. But it's much more than the technology. It's much more than that. So in our experience, maybe the most critical things is stores and the staff in stores, to have them into this game. Typically for many store staff, this is not in their comfort zones. And what we see, there's a lot of resistance. And often pilots don't make it to full rollout. And having store staff understand that there is an opportunity in building relationships is not something that comes with just a training and give them an iPad in their hands. There's much more needed to really reap the benefits that clienteling offers. So in the approach that we have developed, the store is in the middle. And we call this hot housing. Before rolling it out, you need to prove the value of clienteling in a store with the store staff there and the customers around that store. Make it happen and involve early stage the store staff in that. So we're, with this shoe retailer I refer to, we're doing that. They are involved, the store staff is involved from the very early stage. They are part of the Scrum teams, and in an 8-week hot house period, they are shaping how it looks like. What is the power of clienteling? And for example, in the shoe retailer, the store staff is shaping how their customer engagements in the store look like. And they come up with the ways to have on their tablet the immediate answers on availability of products and the sizes and the colors, but also the button that if a customer wants to try shoes, to push that button and someone from the back room comes in with those shoes, rather than that the salesperson needs to disconnect from the customer at that stage. So these kind of things coming from the sales staff themselves. But obviously around it, this needs to be enabled by great technologies and all integrated and delivered from the cloud. And it has this nice skin, this great iPad app or any other mobile app device, which needs to be fed in the background with a single view of customer, including all the social feeds that are relevant to understand the context of this customer. And also all the great possibilities that the marketing and sales and service clouds offer of Salesforce on personalized one-to-one marketing and campaigning around that. So these are the ingredients. Finally, from my part, what are the benefits? Why clienteling? Well, to reap the benefits of the synergy between on and offline. So it's not just about being inspired and having purchases done either fully online or fully in the store. It is about those crossovers. It is about generating traffic to stores using digital, and then in the stores converting it and increasing the basket size and increasing customer satisfaction and loyalty, but also the other way around, using the store to generate online transactions. So in this example I mentioned of this shoe retailer, they are rewarding store staff to stimulate subsequent online transactions, so to turn anonymous store visits into personal relationships. So only last week, so we're running this hot house, only last week one store staff got the credits for selling worth of 20,000 euros of shoes on one day. That would have been impossible in a physical store. I mean, a lot of that were online conversions, but credit to that person who converted that anonymous shopper into, or anonymous shoppers into personal relationships. So that's the value of clienteling. That's the way to grow your business and to differentiate in the market. And of course, to come up with happy customers. So I'd like to turn over to some great examples where clienteling is proving the benefits in the real world.
All right. Well, thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, I guess so. So what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm just going to go back a few slides because I always want to do an introduction to the people that we have on our panel today. Without the E. Okay, here we go. So the three people we have presenting today, the first one is Bethany Kemp. So Bethany and Alec Davis are from Design Within Reach. And we're actually going to do a brief presentation about their implementation. And then after that, we actually have a demonstration. So that's going to happen first. And then next, we're going to have Olivier from Chopard. And he's going to talk about his very exciting clienteling experience, okay? I'm going to tell you we're running late. All right, so I want to encourage you to speak to these individuals at the session that we have after this, because I think they have really good content. I also hosted the Trunk Club last year, so I saw their solution last year. I saw it this year. I would highly encourage you to download the Trunk Club app that they have, because I think it'll show you a really good story about how to kind of create that personalized experience. So with that, what I'm going to do is hand it over to to Bethany, and she's going to begin the discussion, okay? And so Bethany, you could start talking. I'll get your slides up.
Okay. Hello, I'm from Design Within Reach. What our goal is to make modern, authentic design accessible to the masses. So we are a furniture retailer. We sell through 4 different sales channels: web, call center, studios, which is our showrooms, and also our contract sales division. 350 employees, 42 studios across the U.S. and Canada, and almost everybody in the company today is using Salesforce in some manner. So the challenges that we wanted to solve was, in the spirit of clienteling, we wanted to give our salespeople everything that they possibly could have at their fingertips to be able to spend their time selling and with the clients. So in doing that, our challenges were that we had the information that they needed to answer questions for the client in a lot of disparate systems, some of which they had access to and some of which they didn't. All of which they needed to be on our network or VPN to access. The operations support, so our internal support teams, the way that whole thing was managed was through shared Outlook inboxes, which you can only imagine if you have a few people working the same inbox, it's rather inefficient. It was also difficult as a manager, if you're looking at those support requests, to understand where you are, where do you need to escalate, how many issues do you have open at this moment. We also had different support groups across the organization handling them differently. So if you emailed into finance, it might be handled differently or managed differently versus our operations team versus our warehouse. And then again, the management lacking insight into what was open, what kind of volume are we seeing. So the solution for us was to look at how can we, again, put all the information that our sales folks, our account executives need to answer the client on the fly in person, or if they're in their home, anywhere that they need to be able to solve that customer's issue or to answer their question and close the sale and move on to the next. We deployed the Service Cloud to provide consistent case management across the organization. So all of our internal support groups now are on the Service Cloud, and they manage all those requests through cases. We also created what we want to demo for you today is an interactive web form which can be accessed through any mobile device or your laptop or anything, or your phone, to be able to get real-time information about products, about the order status, if you're one of our employees, to be able to help your customer on the fly. So what we did was, again, what was important for us is that this solution for our account executives was able to be accessed anywhere. So if you have a company iPad, great. If you have an iPhone, fine. If you have an Android, fine. If you're on your desktop, fine. You can access this at home. If you're in the client's home, if you're on site with a trade client, any of those things. And we pulled in all that information that we found relevant from the disparate systems, our WMS system, our ERP system, sometimes files living on just someone's computer. We pulled all of that into Salesforce so that the account executive has easy access to all of this information. So the business value in the end for us was, if you're a client and you come in and you're talking to one of our account executives and you have a question about a product, you have a question about your order, the account executive can go onto this web form, put in just a series of a couple of pieces of information and be able to help you. So the more time, again, that we can keep our account executives from having to manage this kind of customer service, submitting a request, maybe it takes 24 hours to get an answer back, the more we can give them information at their fingertips and also make the support request process as seamless as possible, so when they do submit a request, the person on the other end is getting everything that they need to solve it in that first communication, the better. So I'm going to turn over to Alec Davis, who's going to show us 3 different scenarios on the application that we built with our partners, ForeFront. He's going to show 3 different solutions, one where we're going to show product information coming back in real time, and then submitting a request in real time to what would go to our operations group. Am I standing in the right place?
That's fine. Okay. So I'm going to walk. Sure.
That's a little bit of an orchestra. Okay, terrific.
Okay. So as Bethany said, I'm going to demo our web forms. I'm demoing this on a mobile, on our iPad, and our sales reps have really become very mobile. So we want them to be able to get on an iPad, iPhone, Android, and of course they can use this on a desktop as well. So the one thing we do is we log into a single sign-on. We use Simplified. You can see these are a lot of the apps that we have access to. You can go ahead and click on the web forms. And I was logged off, so hold on. Right.
So while that's coming up, one of the things I want to mention is a lot of your buyers, you actually meet with them in their homes. So it's really important that you can be very interactive with them in the environment where they like to buy. Because they want to imagine things in their home. And if you're in the store with them, it becomes very difficult to do. So what we're going to talk about now is just do a demonstration whereby I'm in my home. This is the individual account executive who helped me basically decorate my entire home. And we've got a couple of situations as a result of that we're going to deal with, okay?
Okay.
So the first one is they're relative to, I have an issue with one of the lamps that I bought.
Okay. First, let me just mention that this is the layout. We have a pre-order, post-order, inventory, and other. So these are kind of like the main situations that one of our reps go through. So we kind of break it down kind of basically because we want this obviously on a mobile app, so we don't want it to be too convoluted here. You can also see some of the cases which we'll go through, and then they also have some help desk tickets here. So the first one I'll go through is a pre-order. So a pre-order obviously is anything that happens before the order. So go ahead and click on that. Okay. So go ahead, Maureen.
Okay. I think it's a post order. It's the lamp I bought, but that's okay. Whatever. All right. So anyway, Alec, I'm sorry. Thank you. Alec, you know that lamp that I bought? Well, it doesn't work anymore. And we had a power failure recently, and as a result of that, it doesn't work. And I changed a light bulb. I plugged it in different places. It is not working. So I'm going to have to return it.
Well, maybe I think the first
I
step.
love being the nasty customer.
Maybe the first thing we should do is look and see if we can solve it for it. So it's a lovely lamp, and we have to return it. So let's take a look at product questions.
Okay.
And I'll drill into product inquiry. And that's the Telemail, you said?
Yes. Yeah. I love the lamp, but it doesn't work, so.
It's the Mega.
I love being wealthy customers.
Okay, and that's the shade?
Right. And as I said, I've changed the light bulb and everything. It doesn't work. I think you're going to have to take it back.
So here's all the information about that product, on the dimensions. We have a lot of documents. Let's see. Telemail lamp troubleshooting. Let's take a look at that.
Okay. And again, the nice thing is this is happening all in my house.
Okay, it looks like it might be a fuse. You said you had a power outage, is that right?
Well, I did, but I didn't even realize I had a fuse. Okay.
It does.
That's
So
probably what it is.
What I can do is I can email this to you, and you can walk through these troubleshooting steps. If you have
Okay,
any problems
terrific.
after that, you can call me back. Okay?
I'm an engineer. Maybe I could figure it out.
Okay.
Thank you. You know, but I have another problem.
What's
Okay.
that?
You know, you sell those chairs. The chairs come in 3 different sizes, A, B, and C.
The
Okay,
Aaron
I
chair.
think I'm an A. I'm probably really a B, but I think I'm an A.
Okay.
And my husband, who's like a C+++, he does not like this chair because the size just doesn't work for him.
Okay.
So, you know that chair I bought, I have to return it.
Okay.
And I'm really hoping you could just come pick it up because I'm not interested in dragging that thing back to your store.
Okay, cool. Well, I can do put a request in to have that picked up and returned.
Terrific, good.
So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and go into post order because this is an order that already happened. And, okay. And that's your order?
Yes, it is,
It's an easy one to remember, I think.
That's right. It's the first order in the company.
So here's all the information about
Right,
your
right.
order.
And I like everything, but I don't like
So it's
the chair.
The Aaron chair, okay.
And either I get rid of the chair or my husband, so we're going to
Okay.
return the chair.
Okay,
Although it was a tough decision.
I can't help you with getting rid of the
I'm gonna tell
husband,
you, because
sorry.
I love that chair.
Okay, so it's the Aaron chair. Go ahead and click
Yes,
it there.
yes, yes.
And you only got the one.
I really need you to pick that up.
Okay. All right. So let's do, and you return it because you changed mind.
Changed my mind, yeah.
Return type, you want it for credit.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And you want us to arrange to return
Yes,
shipping at your
yes.
sense? Okay.
Yes, I want nothing to do with that.
And let me ask you, is this your?
Yes, I
your
live
last-
at 50 Fremont. I'm a very wealthy woman.
It's a very exclusive address, yes. Okay. All right. Go ahead and put some notes
Terrific.
here. Demo. And go ahead and submit. Oh, forgot to put the number of boxes. All right.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that, Alec, and I'm definitely going to buy more from you folks. Coming into my house and helping me deal with this, I don't like going to stores. So
Okay.
anyway, thank you very
Well,
much.
thanks very much. So there's another scenario that I want to go through on our web form. So I said, pre-order is before an order, post-order if an order happened. We have inventory adjustment situations sometimes, but other, if you go into other, these are kind of like the miscellaneous ones. So the one I want to go through is a commission transfer. I don't know if you know this, but salespeople are really, we love the commission, so it's something that's really a hot topic. So let me give a scenario. So let's say that one of our AEs was working with a customer. They're working for a couple of weeks, so a lot of product they want to buy. Unfortunately, when they were prepared to make that sale, they actually called into our call center, our virtual studio, and made that order. So our rep feels that they should get the commission, so they're going to put a request in to move the commission over to them. So first what we do is enter the order. So we'll use that very easy to remember order number. They're asking for 100% transfer. So the next thing is they want is the transfer to location. So it's not only do they want the commission transferred themselves, but they also want it to their store locations, what we call studios. Let's go ahead and select a location. You can see these are all the locations we have. And let's select our San Francisco studio. We have a new one opening up soon. You guys should all check it out. Go ahead and put notes here. So the sales rep would put notes on why they feel that this sale is removed to them. Go ahead and submit. Now it's creating the case. It's going to go to operations department. They're going to go ahead and investigate whether it's whether they can move that commission over or not. And all right. So you can see down here, these are some of the cases that I submitted. You can see there's the commission transfer, the refund request, and then there's some other from earlier today. And now I want to switch over to. Go ahead.
So in closing, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the application, that is the sales application, and what you're going to see is the cases that are there. And then the other thing, we're just going to end really briefly, because we're running out of time, on the chatter group thing. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Can we switch it over to the.
Doesn't work. It goes, that's probably this one now, right?
I do work in tech, but I'm not going to touch this thing.
There we go.
Ah.
All right.
All right. Okay, so this is the service console, which I'm sure you all know and love. You can see these are the cases that we created. You saw a little bit of the snapshot from what the sales rep would see. This side is where our internal support departments and our operations would see. So I'm just going to go into one of the cases I created. And let everything load. Okay, so you can see here is information. This is the studio location. You can see this is my name, of course. You can see this is actually connected to an order. We have all of our orders in Salesforce as well as our product information. That's why we're able to access a lot of that data on the web forms. And you can see over here we have a brief kind of snapshot of our order. In the interest of time, I won't go through the entire case, but you can see there's a lot of information here. You can see the address, comments, how many boxes, and whatnot. And the key thing here is, our reps, like Bethany said it before, they would email certain requests. And here, all they have to do is fill out the form, we give them the information from them that we need, and then we assign it to the appropriate department. So in this particular case, it went to returns.
And Alec, we're going to have to stop at this point.
Okay.
It's exciting as I know that chatter is.
Okay.
All right, but no, just end, and I'm just going to get up the video, so you guys can do close. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Oh.
So the next presentation we have is Olivier Emery, and he's going to speak about some exciting work at Chopard. And I would definitely encourage you to buy him a drink, even if they are free, at this event that we have coming up. And by the way, you know how you can block certain websites from children? Well, you can block that Chopard website from your wives. Okay, so introducing Olivier Emery.
So I think I will speak like that because the micro is not really working. So, this is the front stage, and I'm working in the backstage. So it's slightly different. And we have nothing totally unique. We also need some robust process to interact with our dream customers. They are probably less, our processes are probably less shiny than the product you have seen on the screen, but they are also handmade, and we have also a dedicated team of experts trying to implement CRM with Chopard. In Chopard, we are currently running two initiatives. One is about B2B, one is about B2C. I'm going to give you some more information about the B2C one. So I'm working for Chopard since 10 years. I'm an operations director. I'm running this unique initiative initiatives, and this initiative is not called Salesforce One, but Shopper Force. So maybe next time I call it Shopper Force One. But anyway, it doesn't change anything because this is number one project for. So we are a 100% family-owned company. We are totally financially independent. We have 1,600 POS, 150 boutiques. This is where we want to go with our clienteling application. And we have 2,000 employees, about 13 subsidiaries. So we are around the world trying to sell our products. So we have some challenge. Maybe go to the next slides. I think you were passing the slides. Sorry? Oh, sorry. So nothing unique there. We are multi-channel. We have customer on many channels. We have just opened an e-commerce site something like 1 year ago. We have many boutiques and call centers, and we need to put this all together. We need to face the digital world, which is very new for us. And I think the digital world is really a new way to interact with customers. We often hear that people know the product better than us when they enter in a boutique. This is something we need to face with it. We have an incredible speed, incredible dynamics. We see this morning how fast the things are going, which is not totally current in our old jewelry business where everything was personal, everything was, let's say, slow. And there is real new steps to lead to a purchasing decision. We have invested a lot. We were one of the first to invest so much in our retail distribution. We have 60 owned boutiques. They all belong to us. And we have 60 around franchise boutiques. So it's a big, big investment for us. Every boutique is always very well located, a lot of stock, and the stock are quite expensive. And a lot of companies are moving in the CRM competition. We need to compete with them. So we have called our initiatives Shopper Force, and we started to go in this direction. So one of the goals is to, of course, to meet the customer where they are. We heard this morning that everything is connected, everything is fast, everything is mobile. But if I give you simple numbers, maybe we have about 125,000 visits per year in our boutiques. But just on the website, just in US, we have 500,000 visitors. And if we go up to the map, on the website, the shopper.com, we have 2 million visitors. And just the last 3 months, we did a digital mobile application where you can build your own watches playing with mobile. And during 3 months, we had 28,000 tweets, and with a reach of 80 million of potential customers that we know. I'm glad that I learned this morning that every people having a mobile application is a potential customer. So we are good that we can reach all those people. So it's awesome. And I have to tell you a very big secret. I have very standard shoes, so I don't have very funny shoes like Mark, so I'm very traditional. So, next slide. So here, this one was, the design was not exactly like that, but one of the start of the project was basically this sentence you see here. It has been moving a little bit, is it? Wherever somebody enters into contact with our brand, he automatically becomes a qualified lead or customer to treat. This was for me a very, very important statement. That means each time somebody gets in touch with us, whatever the touch point, if it's a boutique, if it's a website, if it's through the ERP, if it's through the e-commerce, personal contact, events, we are organizing many events through a database, because sometimes we purchase some database from dentists or medicine or whatever people who could be interested in your product. We have after sales. We have about 80,000 repairs per year, so it's a very good occasion to get in touch back with our final customers, because 50% of our business is done through retailers. So when the retailers are selling the watches, we have no possibility to contact them. And by contacting them with the after sales and the call center. So the whole idea is to every time they get in touch with us, they become a qualified lead. So you can imagine what it means in terms of integration and system and change management. Next one. So every CRM initiative is linked with huge issue, because you always want to have 360-degree view. You want to have a lot of data to be fast. You want to have whole history. And if you go back to all the touch points we have, that means we need to integrate all the repair each time that somebody calls us, each time that somebody visits one of our 60 boutiques, that we know what he has been purchasing the last 10 years. We have about 70 million of serial numbers. All this needs to be connected with one big machine. We have about 150,000 SKU, which is crazy, but it's still the fact. And we have used a tool which is called Informatica Clouds. And with this tool, we have been able to integrate everything into Salesforce. We have more than 5 million records every day moving from our ERP systems to Salesforce to get this integration. We visit all our 60 boutiques on a daily, on an hourly basis to take all the latest data to put into Salesforce in order to be able to construct this clienteling application. So this is also summarize the whole idea. We have Oracle here, which is our ERP system. Since 20 years, we have a centralized database where we have permanent stock, permanent online sales. So we are very well integrated here. So here we have our Salesforce, which is a little bit the brain of the whole story around CRM and clienteling. We have developed an iPad. I will discuss about this a few minutes later, where this iPad will be in every of our boutiques, in the hand of every of our salesmen in our boutiques. And this is the hand there. And we still need to work a little bit on listening tools, like Radiant 6 or whatever tools, to listen a bit more on an individual way what the customer are telling about us. And this is a key driver also, is that the machine is here to analyze, but the sales team are here to optimize on their side. This is a key driving issue in this project, was to bring the whole CRM into the boutique. I'm really not a fan of global marketing and back office marketing, and I think in the luxury industry this is something you need to avoid, because we want to have personalized service. So I want to really empower the salesman to have to create this relation. And of course, the machine finalizes the process, and maybe unofficially, but the machine is also a bit controlling. This is part of what the machine is doing. But the humans are really in the center of the whole process. Okay, next one. So here, this is like a sort of a personal reflection. Maybe it doesn't, I don't know if it will, it's so unique, but traditionally the location was very important in the retail business. In every kind of business, we always say location, location, location is the key point. And I think now with integration, with clienteling, with all the IT tools that we have, I think the salesman can make more and more such a difference, because the communication, the relation has been starting much earlier probably in all the touch points we saw before. And when they arrive in a boutique, you will always have people passing in front of the boutique. So location is always important. But I think now with the whole system we will have, it will be the duty of the salesman to raise the traffic in his boutique. And I think location is still important, but very active clienteling could reduce the importance of the location. So, I mean, it's a huge change management, because some salesmen, maybe they were a little bit waiting the customer that they cross the door to engage and to start to sell something. But I think it will be a little bit changing. Next one. So, I said it already, clienteling for shopper is really a one-to-one personalized service. So we bring it to the salesman, that they have a very nice relation, optimize in-store performance, optimize after-sales service. to have the right data at the right place, and of course to capture always some more information about our customer if they agree to capture. And this sentence is a little bit maybe a sort of a, not a polemic, but a little bit challenging as a salesman is our goal is that those salesmen have as much as work a Monday than a Saturday, if it's a rainy day or if it's a sunny day. That means if they don't try to interact with the customer when they are in front of them, they try to interact with their lead before on the internet, in the clienteling application, to bring them into the boutique with letters, with telephone, with follow-up, for birthday card, or whatever marketing interaction that we can do. And we call it, the word I'm using to push this is the most appropriate marketing pressure. So to me it means a lot. That means every salesman is responsible to do the traffic and to develop this most appropriate marketing pressure. Not too much, because we are in the luxury business, but enough to bring people in the boutique and to conclude sales. Okay? So this application is here. It will be normally delivered in the next 5 days. So the deadline for the suppliers to deliver the application is by the end of this month. So we are already testing and doing the whole story. So maybe we go to the next. We will have all the customer preference, customer profiling. We will have the client profile. We will have all the purchase history across the shopper group, across the 60 boutiques. We have been collecting all the transactions from the last 20 years. Of course, sometimes they are not 100% correct. Sometimes the name is not always 100% well maintained. But we collect all those data. And we have the wish list of the customer. And here we are even able to, on the tablet, to have the worldwide stock and all the boutique on the same country stock and the stock of the just behind the counter. To be in front of the customer and to be able, with a catalog, to tell him which products are available. To drive the sales on available product and not always drive the sales on product that we are waiting for the production center to deliver. Okay, so this is all the application, and the expected reward for shopper is we have a systematic engagement that salesman will have a lead to follow every day. They will have letters to follow every day, and they will have a bench of action to bring people in their boutique. This is a shared benefit between the customer and shopper, is to have the feeling for the customers that we know them better. Because traditionally, we were doing a lot of clienteling, but on the super rich people. And here, of course, you know them, and you bring them in the boutique. But our 3 factories are not living from the high jewelry. We also produce a lot of watches, and we need to be able to sell those watches to people a bit less wealthy. And normally, those people are less well-tracked than the very, very VIP people. And for the clients, of course, if we manage to make the most appropriate marketing pressure, then they will be happy because we'll not offend them. We will serve them much better. And of course, we hope to make a bit more revenue out of this initiative.
Thank you very much.